I'm female, a third-year university student, and this year, I'm living in a rented flat with two friends. We moved in 3 weeks ago when university started, and we immediately started having trouble with our neighbors. We have one flat above us and two flats below us, and all of our neighbors are jerks. Anyway, the first night we had a housewarming party. We tried to keep it down and we never had any complaints. The next day, we had another party because it was a Saturday and more friends came back. That's when one set of neighbors knocked on our doors and asked us to keep it down, which we did. But 30 minutes later, another set of neighbors did the same. We were annoyed but complied. A few days go by and we have another party because it was sports socials, so we held it at our flat. Our neighbors knocked again, but I didn't bother opening the door. The next day, we had our landlady come in and talk to us about noise. Since then, whenever we had a party, we had a landlady come in and stand there until everyone leaves and people just leave because the mood is gone. Anyway, she just threatened us that she will start the eviction process if we don't calm down, because we make too much noise. I told her it's crazy to expect students to never party and that we only make a bit of noise occasionally. She told me two other flats are students, but they don't cause problems, and she's been renting to students for ages and we're the worst. I called her a fat C word and told her to go ahead, but she won't be able to evict us for months because of the law. She said that from now on the neighbors will be calling the police, and I shut the door in her face. I'm considering plastering her on social media so no one rents from her ever again. I told my friends about this, and some of them actually agree with the landlady saying that they hate it if their neighbors were like me. They said partying is great, but they wouldn't have this many parties at their own house. They got me thinking. I thought they would do the same, but they pretty much called me and my friends jerk neighbors. So tell me, am I in the wrong for having parties? Wow, you are in the wrong. The landlord has become involved and told you how it is. Guess what? She makes the rules. She can and will legally evict you for not complying. If you want to make as much noise as you want and set your own rules, go buy a house. I'm guessing that won't happen, so you have to follow the rules of the place you live in. The cherry on top was calling her a fancy word. You're absolutely a jerk. And this will follow you on your rent history, so good luck renting elsewhere without your bad name following you. You are in the wrong, clearly. An occasional party like once a month is no big deal, but they have only been 3 weeks and from her description, there's been approximately 6+ parties. Why can't any other friends host for a change? Consider not being obnoxious, selfish and disrespectful at your next residence. Multiple neighbors complaining plus the landlord literally supervising plus your friends agreeing with the landlord wasn't enough for you to conclude you're in the wrong here? You are in the wrong. A week ago, my 20 female roommate tried to get me and two of my friends arrested. The three of us were sitting on my dorm room bed. Me with my two friends, 20 male and 21 female. The one who is of age had bought a bottle of wine, and the three of us were drinking it and watching a movie. My roommate called the campus police on us and said she was going to get us all arrested and get my friend who was drinking underage kicked out of the military. He enlisted 2 years ago when he turned 18. This did not happen, though that was her goal. The other night her boyfriend was banging on our door in the middle of the night asking for his watch or something. My roommate wasn't home. I called campus police and reported that a strange man was banging on my door aggressively. My roommate screamed at me about it when she got home. She said, "What the heck is wrong with you that you call the police?" And I said, "Because I don't like you." She followed me around and I locked her out of my room and so she couldn't come in through the common room. And now for some comments. Everybody sucks. Her boyfriend didn't do anything to you. You could have just caused a lot of problems for him just to get back at her. You both seem to think weaponizing the police is a valid way to get at each other, and it's not. You're not in the wrong. Your roommate sucks. Who does she think she is? You were right to call campus police on her boyfriend, even if you did like her because he was banging on your door in the middle of the night. Is there someone you can complain to? Start noting down dates and times of things she does and says so that you have a record of things escalated. Everybody sucks. Calling him a strange man could have ended badly rather than being honest with them that it was somebody you knew who wasn't welcome and wouldn't leave. As well, saying you only did so because I don't like you is a terrible reason. However, the roommate should not allow the behavior and pounding on the door late at night, especially as she wasn't even there at the time. Some backstory. I, female 15, have a rocky relationship with some of my family. My father is and has always been abusive, mainly verbal. I'm talking, you're a disgrace, I wish you weren't here, and so on. However, he really only says it to me and not my siblings. I have depression. I don't get yelled at for sneaking out and so on. He yells at me when I'm not happy enough. I'm pretty much the punching bag of the family. Anyway, he had another one of his uncontrollable screaming fits last week, calling me a witch and a disgrace. I got him the wrong flavor of coffee, and I've been trying to avoid him since. So we weren't on the best terms. Today, my sister, female 18, apparently tried to wake me up to go to the beach with everyone, but I wouldn't wake up, as if it's something I chose to do. I'm not even really a deep sleeper. So they, Dad and all of my siblings, all went to the beach for hours away without me, leaving me alone all day. It is not unusual to not see many people throughout the day for me these days, but after hours I was getting curious. I check the driveway and post the cars are gone. I call my dad and ask where everyone is, and he said they are at the beach. I start crying and yelling at him, saying how could they leave me at home alone, and he hung up on me. I called again and my sister answered telling me to shut up and leave them alone. It got to 95 degrees today around my house. I locked all the doors, big house so like 6 doors, and shut all the blinds. Then when they came back hours later, came home early after I screamed at them, they were banging on the doors and spam calling the home phone. I plugged them all from my cell phone. After 30 minutes, I guess my dad forced the door open. They are pissed, saying that I cannot do that. But I told him now they know how it feels to be left out. Am I in the wrong? Wow, I am very sorry that you are the punching bag, that you were left behind and from your post. I'm not surprised that you are depressed. Please reach out to get some therapy to deal with the trauma you face. I wish that I could give you a mothering hug and help you deal with your dysfunctional family. I come from personal experience in a place of love. At 15, I would have done the same thing. You are not in the wrong. You are not in the wrong. Leaving you behind was lame and mean. They knew at least the night before that they were planning this trip, so they could have told you then. So you could have set an alarm. They didn't want you to go. So you'll need to figure this out. Why they didn't want you along? Maybe your whole family needs counseling. You are not in the wrong. Tell them you were sleeping and didn't hear them banging on the door, since you're so hard to wake up apparently. Also plan to get out of there as soon as possible. My daughter 16 just finished her cancer treatment. She's lost her hair in the process, and she's been incredibly insecure because of it. She no longer meets friends nor welcomes them at our home, nor even meets family in person. It's been bad to say the least, but her stepbrother 18, Ben, has been making it worse with his nagging comments and jokes about her looks. He tried taking and posting pictures of her secretly to share, but I shot that down even though my husband thought it was just harmless teasing. My husband's sister's wedding was last week. The family wanted Megan to go, but she didn't want to. I spent so much time trying to help her and convinced her to start socializing again and see family. She agreed under the condition that I let her wear a wig, which I agreed to. Not only that, but I took her shopping to pick her own wig, and she looked beautifully stunning in her pixie hairstyle wig. My husband and Ben laughed when they saw it. I don't know why. We went to the wedding and everything was going well till this happened. We were all sitting and we started talking about Megan's look, and suddenly, Ben reached out and pulled her wig and exposed her head. I was shocked, I froze, but Megan yelled, then took her wig and ran. Ben, his cousins, and some guests started laughing. I was upset, especially when I looked over my shoulder and saw my husband sitting next to his mom and laughing as well. I lost it on Ben and paraded him in front of everyone, then took my stuff, got Megan, and got into the car and went home. Ben and my husband didn't have a ride home, and my husband kept calling me but I did not respond. He came home asking about me leaving mid-wedding and upsetting his sister, and then leaving him and Ben with no ride home. I argued with him about how Ben embarrassed Megan and humiliated her publicly, which must have ruined what's left of her self-esteem. He said that it was just kids teasing each other, that I overreacted and Ben had no malicious intent. He was just messing with her. I said I was sick of it. But he said that this is their way of bonding as step siblings, and I was getting in the way of it and being overprotective and unreasonable. We didn't talk after that and Ben is refusing to apologize, and his dad is backing him up. And now for some comments. Not in a wrong, but you need to divorce that man. His and his adult son's behavior is disgusting. There is absolutely no excuse for what Ben did. When your daughter starts dating, she's going to look to your example about how a man should treat her and what a healthy adult relationship should look like. If you stay with this man, you are teaching your daughter that emotional abuse is okay. Jumping on top comments to say dump your jerk of a husband in the trash at the curb where he belongs. He, a grown adult, is enabling his bullying adult son's behavior of a literal child cancer survivor. He's telling you that his adult son is bonding with your daughter by bullying and humiliating her in public? The heck kind of logic is that? This is not a safe environment for your daughter to be in. Also, it's a red flag of how he and his son will treat you if you get sick. You need to look into your legal options to remove your husband and his abusive son from your and Megan's lives in the fastest and cleanest manner possible. Good luck. You would actually be in the wrong if you stay married to this man. I will be kicking him and his jerk son to the curb. Who the heck makes fun of a cancer patient? Better yet, who lets someone make fun of a cancer patient? Why are you staying with this man?